Folks, I'm just going to mix it up tonight. Now, originally I wanted to do a rant video talking about what's going on in Afghanistan. Then I thought about doing some type of fact-based video. Okay, the history of Afghanistan, give a little context to what's going on in that part of the world. But I do know one thing. I am over dealing with the Middle East. Aren't you? Every time we go over to the Middle East, we get burned. It's time these people learn to fend for themselves. Now, I understand that after 9/11, we had to go after bin Laden. But I think there was a different way we could have handled this. Yes, go after bin Laden. But what George W. should have done, George W. Bush, is he should have gotten on the horn, because I'll tell you something. At the time, I worked for a travel agency. Very well-known travel agency. And ironically, I was selling flights. So I wasn't running for president in 2000. If you weren't born then, there was an election in 2000. And I wasn't part of the military top brass. But when 9/11 happened, I knew who did it. Maybe not by name, but I knew who did it. And all George W. had to do was get on the phone and give these people what for. And he should have told them, because you have proven that you no longer want to be part of the world stage, or you don't want to play by the rules, we are no longer doing business with you. We are cutting off all ties with your country. That means no trade, no financial aid, no immigration from your country to our country. You are cut off. Period. And as a nice little cherry on top, they should have dropped leaflets, 4, 5, 6 days, maybe a week's notice, and then have a 72-hour strategic surgical bombing campaign. You flatten the place back to the Stone Age. Bring in a coalition of troops and tanks. You freeze the assets in that country, the markets. Yes, you take the oil. You stop travel to and from that country. And you give these people an ultimatum. You say you have 48 hours to get your act together. If you don't do it, we're turning this place into a shopping mall. That is how you handle these backward ass countries in the Middle East who want to be stuck in the 8th, 9th, or 10th century, who are constantly on some jihad or revolutionary kick because they're jealous of what we have here in the United States. Let's be honest, they're jealous of what we have here in the United States. And ever since I could walk, we've had the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, trouble with Iran. I remember the first Gulf War, Saddam Hussein. What we have going on now in Afghanistan. I remember vaguely, because I was a wee tot then, but I remember the Iranian hostage situation, which lasted for 444 days. That incident caused Jimmy Carter to lose the election in 1980. He so mismanaged that incident. A lot of people are saying this is like Saigon, what's going on in Afghanistan. Saigon, this isn't remotely close to anything going on or that had gone on with Saigon or Vietnam. Not even close. This is more in line with what happened with the Iranian hostage situation. Now, the funny thing is, you have these Republicans all up in arms that Joe Biden took out these troops. Well, actually, I think Joe Biden did the right thing here, getting these troops out of Afghanistan. They've been there way too long. 20 years. Think about that, 20 years in one country that is known to be a hotbed of terrorism, political corruption. There's mass poverty and illiteracy in Afghanistan. It is basically the armpit of the Middle East. Don't kid yourself. As much as the media is trying to dress this up, it is the armpit of the Middle East. Now, there are good and bad people wherever you go. But the fact is, some of these people in the Middle East aren't our friend. And how many times is it going to take for our government to learn that you can't do business with these people without getting screwed over. It just amazes me, the stupidity from these Republicans and these Democrats in D.C., the top military brass, who are on this "we must spread democracy throughout the world" kick. Nowhere in our Constitution does it say that we are under any obligation to spread democracy throughout the world, let alone being the policemen of the world. Let these countries fend for themselves. It's time for us to get out of the Middle East. Get out of Germany. We still have troops in Germany because of World War II. Did you know that? We still have people stationed in Germany because of World War II. Korea, it never ended. I've talked to veterans who've told me that Korea has never ended. But if you keep your relationship with these countries at an arm's length and you set boundaries, people will know not to cross them. It's okay, Republicans and Democrats, to tell the Middle East no. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, here's how you handle that one. And I fully support Israel. And I'll also support the Palestinians. But both sides have got to come to the table and reach an agreement. I don't understand this. I guess it's one of those biblical conflicts that never goes away. Well, get with the 21st century. Put your biases aside. Here's an idea. Have a synagogue on one side of the street, a church on the other, and a mosque on the other. Everybody can coexist. See those bumper stickers, coexist? Look, I understand that things aren't that simple. Things are layered. So it can get complicated with some of these conflicts. But you need to tell these people, like I said, I support Israel, 100%. But you need to tell these people, either you get along or we don't do business with you. That's it. And how much money have we spent on the Middle East? Or in whatever part of the world it is. So I'm just over it. Now, I'll give you a couple facts here about Afghanistan. In 1978, the monarchy was thrown over by these revolutionaries or rebels. Did I say thrown over? Overthrown. Thrown over. It was thrown over, overthrown. You know what I mean. So the monarchy was overthrown in 1978. Person in power at that time was Zahir Shah. They wanted to create a new republic. Now, if you go back to the latter part of the 19th century, you had the Great Game, and this created this buffer state between British India and the Russian Empire. You had the Durand Line, the border between British India and Afghanistan, which was formed in 1893. But the Afghan government has not recognized this borderline, leading to strained relations with Pakistan. And Pakistan does not want Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan is situated in an area where it borders Pakistan. There's China to the northeast of that. You have India. And Pakistan doesn't want India entering into some type of military agreement or what have you with Afghanistan, because if they do that, then that weakens Pakistan. They basically are a lone wolf in the Middle East. Leaves them vulnerable. Now, if we have to go after somebody like bin Laden, we should do it. But we shouldn't have our troops in the Middle East for 20 years. Let these people fend for themselves. And we should do what I said should have been done on 9/11. What George W. should have done. You call these people up, you tell them to cut the crap, or you're going in there and you're flattening the place back to the Stone Age. That's that. Freeze the assets, take the oil, do what you have to do. It's time for us to worry about what's going on here at home. Now, I'm not saying we should be warmongers, but if we get attacked, then we should take the necessary steps to go after whoever our enemy is. But you don't stay in a particular region for 20 years with the hopes of spreading democracy across the world. I swear, these people in D.C. live in a pipe dream. They live in a pipe dream. By the way, this is the Cultural Confederacy. If you've enjoyed the video, please click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes. Leave comments below, and now you can reach me on Twitter, Cultural Confederacy at Twitter. And normally I don't veer too far into politics here on the channel. If you're new to the channel, we talk about preserving our history and culture as Americans, preserving great music, great art, bringing to light music by lesser-known composers because I write music in my spare time. So I have a day job, I have this YouTube channel. But I love this country. And this is a defining moment in our country with our foreign policy. Let's say that, we'll just use Kabul as an example, capital of Afghanistan. Let's say that a music ensemble is going to start having some concerts in Kabul. Bring classical music, let's say, to that part of the world that's never been exposed to it. And I get invited over there. Can I trust my government to protect me, that when I travel to Kabul, that I'm not going to be attacked on a plane or in the streets in Kabul? But this just goes to show you how mismanaged our foreign policy has been for decades in this country. As I said, an arm's length with these countries, and you give them a what for the moment they act up. And you cut off all ties, financial aid, and immigration from their country to our country. That's how you solve the problem in the Middle East. And once you do that, they'll get the message you don't screw with the United States. So once again, thank you for being with me. Boy, Cultural Confederacy, saying peace out. Okay. Folks, I'm wanting to say, I have to be honest about something. I originally called this channel Voice of the Composer. Wasn't getting a lot of traction on it. And because there were so many things happening where people, especially for those of you who are new to the series, there were so many things happening with these statues being taken down, people trying to ban certain books or stop book deals. And being somebody who writes music, it made me feel like Shostakovich in Russia. They were censoring his music in Russia. I've mentioned that many, many times before. But how we handle our foreign policy will affect people like me who have a creative outlet, who might want to expand one day and maybe turn that into a business opportunity, or have the opportunity to go overseas and collaborate with fellow musicians or ensembles. So this is all related, I guess you can say. But thank you for being with me. This is the Cultural Confederacy. I'll catch you next time. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this. See, I can't get the words out. I'm telling you. You know, folks, I have worked on this video for probably 4 days now. And I still can't get it right. The words, they just don't want to come out. And the approach, didn't know where I wanted to take the video. But thank you for being with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've been entertained. And I'll catch you next time. Once again, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram at #JasonComposes. Leave comments below. And now you can reach me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy at Twitter. So let me try this ending one last time. This is what I do at the end of every video. So this is the Cultural Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country, and I'll catch you next time. See, even there, I'm adding an S to the word time. So times, catch you next times. There you go. Someone better check my grammar, right? So, well, I'm going to get off this video before I get myself in trouble. So y'all have a good night, and I'll see you later.